All around there was a beautiful aroma. Both the guru and the student stood facing the Neelkanth hill, standing next to each other. When a beautiful transcendental figure appeared from behind the tall teak trees, the disciple's hair sprang on edge. Without even thinking about it, he recognized Sri Guru Babaji as the compassionate and loving one who had come to grant him the darshan. Sri M has met Mahavatar Babaji on numerous occasions. Two of his encounters with Babaji are depicted here. Sri M left his native Kerala at a young age in search of enlightenment. He ran away from his house and reached Rishikesh. Following this, he set off on foot to Badrinath in search of his guru, and finally found Maheshwarnath Babaji in Vyas Gufa, above Badrinath. He studied with Babaji for a long time and gained a wealth of knowledge. They would simply wander around the Himalayas. Sri M had strong desire to meet Mahavatar Babaji, and his guru reassured him that he will appear when the time is ripe. On their travels they ended up at Rishikesh. When Maheshwarnath Babaji visits Rishikesh, Mouni Baba moves to another cave on the peak of Neelkanth hill, as per their previously established arrangement. The time in Rishikesh with Babaji and his student lasted several days. They were in the woods near Neelkanth hill, where Babaji was leading his follower. This forest is home to free-ranging elephants. They heard an elephant's trumpeting in the distance, but they were too preoccupied to pay it much mind. They were having a really intense argument. Sri M was told by Babaji that he too would one day be able to initiate others into Kriya Yoga, and he laid out all the requirements for the initiate to meet. Sri M was dismayed to hear his guru recite a laundry list of requirements. With this many requirements, he told Babaji, it will be difficult to locate one who meets all the criteria. Babaji brought it down a notch, but Sri M was still unsatisfied. Babaji was consoling his dejected student when an amazing incident occurred. All around there was a beautiful aroma. Both the guru and the student stood facing the Neelkanth hill, standing next to each other. When a beautiful transcendental figure appeared from behind the tall teak trees, the disciple's hair sprang on edge. Without even thinking about it, he recognized Sri Guru Babaji as the compassionate and loving one who had come to grant him the darshan. Maheshwarnath Babaji knelt at his sanctified feet, and his student quickly followed suit. "I have some urgent business with you," a lovely voice said. He then addressed Sri M's master, Mahesh, and said, "Listen to Madhu if you ask me. The times have changed, and I believe we will reduce the list accordingly." Maheshwarnath Babaji agreed. Sri M's attention was riveted on the man in front of him, a golden-complexioned being with a loin robe that barely covered his knees and long wavy brown hair that reached his shoulders. How divine he appeared! The sweet aroma that he exuded that entered into the very being. As he looked with his compassionate eyes, Sri M was taken back to his prior life and his relationship with Babaji, saying, "Come here." He embraced Sri M and put his arms around his shoulders. Then, with a gentle stroke to Madhu's chin, he whispered, "My boy, you needed to go through this life to evolve. But after you've finished your work, you'll come to me again. Mahesh is so kind. He is your special guide." Sri M's eyes welled up with tears, as a newfound joy filled every cell of his body. At that point, he addressed Maheshwarnath Babaji, saying, "I am pleased that you have taken this young fellow under your wings. There's something I need to discuss with you, Mahesh. On this coming Thursday, let's meet in the astral plane." He made a benevolent gesture with his hands. They knelt before him again. When they finally looked up, he was no longer there. Only the pleasant aroma remained. The master and his student returned to their cave, moving stealthily. The memory of Sri Guru Babaji remained fresh in Sri M's mind. When Sri M had finished his meditation, he went to bed, and Maheshwarnath Babaji sat as usual in the presence of the Duni, firm like a rock, delicate like a flower. Years later, in the same region of Rishikesh in 1985, Sri M had another encounter with Mahavatar Babaji, but in a totally different setting. Indeed, it was one of the most painful period in his life. It was decided that Sri M's master, Maheshwarnath Babaji, would no longer remain in his physical form. It was Babaji's wish that Sri M see his passing and then dispose of his body. He also introduced him into the yogi's final kriya, which is meant to halt all physical functions and leave the body quietly. Among the many things Babaji taught him to do before he left, his body was to make sure his body was disposed of appropriately. Babaji directed him to a suitable site close to Mouni Baba's cave on the Neelkanth hill. In addition, Babaji revealed Sri Guru and Nagraj will be present at the occasion. Your task at hand is daunting, and it will take time to develop the necessary skills so that they wish to impart 80% of my mental capabilities upon you. Even if it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, those who have progressed into yoga know that these things are true. If you want to find out what happened next, I highly recommend reading Apprentice to Himalayan Masters by Sri M. See you soon in a new exciting video.